3-year-old Whippet Beagle mix, a male. He is neutered. He is now 3 years old, and they've had him since he was about 6 months old. He pulls on leash non-stop until he chokes himself, zigzagging all around like he's on the hunt for something. We tried changing directions, treat training, which he got bored of very quickly, and finally got him a halty, which he hates and still pulls. He also goes absolutely nuts, barking and growling when he sees another dog on leash, and sometimes at people. I end up crossing the street. I try to get his attention and make him sit and look at me, but if he's already seen it, his focus is completely on that thing. He is aggressive towards other dogs at the park off leash, especially if they come over to sniff me or our other dog. We are now trying to keep him off the furniture at home and off our laps too, so he doesn't think he owns us. He has an incredible amount of energy, which he mostly uses to bark at other things. Who would like to address? So we've got three main problems. We've got some on-leash pulling, and he doesn't like a head halter. And we've got some reactivity, both on and off leash, it sounds like, with dogs and sometimes with people, and we've got a lot of barks. This one's our quiet dog. Do I have any volunteers to address this question?
Someone want to take the harnesses and the pulling to start? Yep.
I can start with that.
Okay,
yeah, so I think the first thing is having the right equipment. So from what it sounds like with this dog is there's probably a lot of understimulation going on. So the first thing I would look at is things like food delivery toys and making the dog do a little bit of work, mostly to engage his mind. So that would be one aspect of tools. And the second one would be having something that's proper to walk the dog. So I think that's is that a sensation harness? So a couple tools that the person who asked that question can look into would be a sensation harness. Most dogs will like those. Another tool that we have is the freedom harness. That comes really highly recommended. It has a special leash that clips in the front and the back to give you a lot of control. So the dog may still be wandering around, but will probably save your shoulder and give you a lot more control. So that would be the first thing, is the right tool for walking and addressing the dog's stimulation needs as well. So my question would definitely be around exercise as well as how much exercise does that dog get.
That's the freedom harness.
That's the freedom. And both of these harnesses clip on the front of the chest. So if your dog tends to lunge or pull, they will generally be redirected back to facing you. It also eliminates the opposition reflex, which every dog has, and is a nice thing to have. Did you want to talk a little bit about mental stimulation?
Yeah, I'm just going to show some of these toys as well. So these are some of the toys. These are actually all from a line called Busy Buddy. That you can Google as well. This is called a waggle toy, so you can actually stuff kibble inside, and the dog kind of smells it, knocks it around, and gets the kibble out one at a time. This is called a tug-a-jug, and you can actually unscrew it and feed the kibble in here, and the dog will tug it around, and the kibble will come out one at a time from the end. We got a variety of treat balls, so most people have seen these. The dog rolls them around. And then, of course, the all-important Kong toy, which really probably every dog should have one of these. And you can freeze them when you put the kibble in, so you can actually put the kibble in the Kong, cover it with a plate, flip it around, run water in, stick it in your freezer for about 5 hours, then take it out, pull it off the plate, and you've got a Kongsicle that usually keeps most dogs busy for about an hour. So an understimulated dog, which this guy's going to be, because now you're having dog issues and issues like that, so you can't really go to off-leash parks or daycares and things like that. This type of thing is going to be invaluable, at least from a stimulation standpoint.
And Kong.com actually has a long list of recipes for their products, and they rank them based on how difficult they are. So if your dog whips through a peanut butter Kong in 5 seconds, there are more difficult Kongs that you can create for your dog. Any other comments?
Just one last comment in regards to the pulling and the dog liking to sniff. I use sniffing, like I'll put sniffing, I think I learned this from you, on cue for the dog, so that I can use it for part of the dog's reward. So if you walk nicely maybe 1 step to begin with, then I'll stop and actually say go sniff and give the dog permission to sniff, because as a hound owner, they're not always food motivated. So we got to use whatever they want in life. So if the dog wants to sniff, let's use that to our advantage. Just as far as
I would actually incorporate sniffing games on the walk for the dog. tossing treats out and structure sniffing rather than have the environment to supply what he wants to sniff, for example, other dogs or people. So you can hide toys, you can hide people, you can hide treats, and you structure the sniffing for the dog. Bringing the nose down, it's natural for a beagle to begin with, but in addition to that, you're supplying the rewards, what Amy already said. That will help, and if you bring the nose down in a structured way, then the dog will automatically be less visually inclined to look in the environment for potential triggers, like other dogs or people. That typically works much better than asking a dog into a motionless sit and watching the person is to play games, to be interactive, to toss treats out and change directions that way. One tiny little thing, in my opinion, it's not a dominance problem. So if the dog is used to sleeping on a bed and on a couch, I recommend to let him back up there.
Sorry.
So I'd say actually the first two issues could quite likely be related. Often dogs that don't seem to have much focus when they're walking, especially the rushing from one side to another, can be a dog that's fearful. That they could definitely have some anxiety about dogs, but they may be anxious about their environment as well. So I'd be looking to have walking the dog in a much quieter setting, maybe doing more training in the backyard or finding more remote areas. Which we're going to discuss here, how to build the dog's confidence. And I think if you focus on that middle thing, it's going to help you with the walking.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Our did refuses to sit.